Why are we afraid of failure? Every day, millions of people have dreams they want to achieve. Some want to start a business. Some want to change jobs. Some want to start over. Yet many of these dreams are never even started. Not because of a lack of talent, not because of a lack of ability, but because of something we cannot see. The fear of failure. But why is this fear so powerful? Why do we sometimes choose not to try, rather than face the possibility of failing? Failure is one of the experiences that people least want to go through. When we hear the word failure, what often comes to mind is loss, defeat, shame, or suffering. Because of this, it is only natural that we want to avoid it. But what is even more surprising is how much the fear of failure influences our decisions. Many people do not apply for the job they want because they might not get accepted. Many do not start a business because they might lose money. Many do not confess their feelings because they might be rejected. And many do not try something new because they might make mistakes. Simply put, it is not failure that stops them. It is the fear of its possibility. One reason for this is the way society views success and failure. From childhood, we are taught to pursue success. Those with high grades are praised. Those who win are recognized. Those who succeed are celebrated. But the mistakes and failures they went through before achieving success are rarely discussed. Because of this, the belief gradually develops that making mistakes is something to be ashamed of. That failure is a sign of inadequacy. And that defeat is the end of everything. But in reality, no one becomes successful without going through failure. Behind every success are moments that did not succeed, plans that did not work out, dreams that were temporarily delayed, and times when people had to start over. Another reason why we are afraid of failure is that we often associate it with who we are. When we fail an exam, we think we are not intelligent. When we do not get accepted for a job, we think we are not good enough. When our plans do not succeed, we think we are incapable. But there is a big difference between experiencing a failure and being a failure. Failure is an event. Being a failure, on the other hand, is an identity that we create in our own minds. And often, that is where the fear begins. We are not afraid of failure itself. We are afraid of what others might say. We are afraid of embarrassment. We are afraid that our insecurities might be proven true. We are afraid that we are not enough. But there is one important truth that we often forget. Every person we admire today has failed at some point. The only difference is that they did not allow it to become the end of their story. In fact, many times, failure became the most important teacher in their lives. Because when we succeed, we often only celebrate the result. But when we fail, we are forced to examine ourselves. What went wrong? What needs to change? What do we need to learn? And in the process of finding answers to these questions, we grow. This is why many experts believe that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Because there is no growth without mistakes. There is no courage without risk. And there is no success without the possibility of defeat. When we accept this truth, our perspective changes. We no longer see failure as the end. We see it as a step, a lesson, an opportunity to become better than we were yesterday. Perhaps the reason we are afraid of failure is that we focus on what we might lose. But what if we looked at it differently? What if the real danger is not failing, but never trying at all? Because every time we choose to step back because of fear, a possibility is lost. A dream remains unfulfilled, an opportunity remains unexplored, and a version of ourselves is never discovered. Failure can be painful. It can bring sadness, doubt, and discouragement. But its wounds are temporary, while regret for the things we never tried can remain for a lifetime. So, perhaps the question is not how we can avoid failure, but whether we are willing to face it for the sake of the dreams we want to achieve. Because in the end, a person is not measured by the number of their successes, but by the number of times they chose to rise again after they failed.